Hello all, this is Zimnala coming at you with another adventure in Total Incremental War. We're going to be experimenting with this. I've actually had a bit of a theory, so I actually theorize that this enemy will actually split pretty evenly, regardless of how many units it's chasing. So one thing I want to try is do you not want me to? Okay, so it will let me move it down here. Is I'm gonna actually move most of my soldiers down to one corner. And then we can let them come and get absolutely stomped in this corner. The half that chase that way. Because, like, this one over here is absolutely going to get destroyed, right? But you know what? That probably doesn't matter at all. Let me see if this plays out the way I think it will. See, like, they're going to equally go in each direction, right? But this side's going to get absolutely destroyed, the half of them. And this side is going to win, but they're going to have to freshly approach this whole force. So this is a tactical advantage. So this not only gets them done once, but twice. I think I'm a genius. I mean, the other way kind of divide it into equal sections, but we don't want equal. We want as much of them distracted as we can handily do. So this might actually let us reach 50 without too much trouble. Like, we're still gonna have to level up a little bit, but then we'll prestige. We'll prestige when we get to that point, because, like, even just the couple of it we did have actually doubled our prestige points, you know? And at 50, we'll get to see this new unit at least. Like, I don't think we're gonna win this particular round, but you know, it's gonna be close. The next one we'll surely win though. We just got a level up bonus. Actually, this is pretty close. Do we still win? Do we still win? No, look at how close that was though. You can't tell me that wasn't crazy. Now look at this disparity in official power rankings. Yeah, see, I could actually have manipulated what percentage went which way. So I could have actually made it so a little bit more went toward the decoy one, but I don't actually think that would be super beneficial to us. I think about half is a good amount to have gone away. Because if we have trouble defeating half, the other half would also be trouble for us, you know? Like, there was no effective way to subdivide it after the first time, so without being able to make them maneuver inside of a round. I am pretty curious about how the Lancers behave. Because that could be a little bit of a game changer in my tactical thinking. Yeah, we're not winning this round, but you know, the one after that we could win. If we get an upgrade. Nah, not... well... nah, we have to get an upgrade to win. I don't know what I was even saying that for. But we're so close to 50. We're fighting at this kind of a disparity without any upgrades yet to our prestige system. And we will also get another army notch soon, and we'll get another army reset one if we actually beat 50, which we surely will with our increased army size. We're gonna get that pretty shortly. I don't know if we're gonna win, but it's gonna... well, maybe we will. I shouldn't sell out my soldiers. Yep, see, we did technically win. Okay. So we did get another group of archers, so... yeah, I don't know if we're gonna immediately win, but actually I think we will. I think we are just gonna straight up immediately win this first round. They are faster. So they have a slightly longer range than these guys. Their weight is higher, which I think might affect how easily knocked back they are. There's 25 in a unit size for them as well. I want to say they have higher health than the first one. Than these guys did at first too. I'd have to see their base stats to guess that. I wonder if they stay unlocked when we prestige. You know what, I thought of something stupid. We could level it up to level 25 and then we can see what their stats are at 25. So their attack is less, actually. Their defense is significantly higher, so they make a better tank unit. Yeah, so there's no real reason to use soldiers at a certain point, looks like. Alright. So one thing I've considered here is that maybe we want to have a squad of lancers as our decoy squad rather than these archers up here. I want to see how they behave anyway, so let's actually, let's reset our army. Let's recruit one thing of these. Set them right here. I'm gonna do, oops, all archers for the rest. Oh, did that take significantly more of our army size? Wait a second. Well, I want to see how they behave regardless. So they run through, they knock them around, but then they die. So that may not actually be all that useful. It's funny. But yeah, I know it is time to prestige anyway, so we're gonna prestige. But as funny as that is, I don't think that was useful. Also, I think that they're significantly use more units than they said that they would. I didn't expect them to use up more army size than the other units. Okay, let's prestige. Let's reset it all. So you start here, actually. Oh, interesting. Well, that's just straight up a double EXP. That's just straight up an extra gold. And so. So if we wanted to use a tanky one for an army, then it would just be the soldier guy right here, because they are technically like these guys used up too much of our army. Like that wasn't really obvious that was going to happen. So having more army size per level of this or per level of that, I need to find out. Can we start with these guys now? We could start with them. Since we're gonna get resets anyway, I want to see how much of army one of them uses. 5. Gross. So we still have to get to 30 to do a reset. Alright. Yeah, let's keep looking at our thing right here. I don't think it's per level that we gain. I think it's just per level of what we put in. Yeah, looks like it. Okay. I mean, that's still good. Yeah, no, what we want is actually archer damage. And honestly, I just kind of want to max out archer damage. I feel like that's the most beneficial for progression at this point. So it looks like we'll tear through the content pretty quickly at this rate. Like, we don't even have to structurally design anything right now. Like, we're just significantly going to outclass them for a hot minute. So I am a little interested in seeing what's at this level 100. I think we're going to go through this prestige tree like hot butter. I think we're going to basically have it maxed out after like one more real prestige. At least everything that we would actually need. I think a full version of this game just needs to be expanded in a few ways. Obviously. Yeah, until the enemy actually gets close to our power level, we don't have to strategize at all. So we're just gonna kind of tear through their stuff without having to actually strategize for a while. We're actually nearly at the same level as well for that already. I believe we ended it on level 15. Yeah, I'd say basically what we found is that since the enemy doesn't have a varied composition to their units, you just want a ranged unit to decimate them. Possibly with a single unit to distract half of them and split the forces in half. I am not certain if that unit should be melee or if that unit should also be ranged and doing range damage. I think that is a bit subjective. I also don't think it necessarily even matters which unit it is. Maybe having the archers up there was the better play because at least they did better damage before they died. I don't think even the tanks would have lasted significantly longer with all the guys chasing them. Yeah, we're gonna reset. Let's oops all archers it up again and then organize it up a bit. It'll take a little bit to chew back up to level 51 where I got into, but we more than doubled our damage since last time, so we better have an easier time. We also do gain a significant amount more EXP and gold. So we are gonna shuffle things around a little bit. I moved it because they weren't actually siphoning off half of them, so. Another thing is that this strategy actually gets a little bit more effective the farther you get, in the one sense that you're actually sacrificing an even smaller portion of your army up here than before. So even when they destroy up here, Now it's only like 1/7 or 1/8 of my army versus being like 20%, you know, like is a smaller like loss to distract them. So technically, something I did think of, I'll have to wait till I get a level up, is I could pit a single soldier, a single of the melee guys, and just put it up there. And honestly, they would chase after that single unit just as effectively. With the only downside being that that single unit would walk towards them. If they didn't walk towards them, that would be better. It would actually tie them up for longer. But I actually don't think that significantly matters because we end up settling things quicker than that matters. Even if they stopped now and turned like right here, they wouldn't make it in time to impact this. But we could check that out when we get another like level up down here. We can just put a single unit in, and maybe that would mean we don't lose any realistically. That would also mean we wouldn't need that reset that we did at the beginning, because you start with a single knight. That would be all we needed for a distraction anyway. Just absolute destruction. I mean, technically we wouldn't even have to use a real formation here. I just wanted to get it set up ahead of time. I mean, we're not going to get a real challenge until close to stage 50. Yeah, here we can actually test it out. Get a single one in. So they didn't really get distracted for quite long enough. I think I might need to tweak that a little bit, but you know. We also didn't sacrifice much of our units to make it happen, so. We also didn't give them any level ups, which could also be a bit of a factor in this. So they couldn't actually take more than a single hit anywhere. No, I don't think I'd want to put much more into them than that. I want to see how tactically this makes sense. So they get split off to that degree, and they do still get split up. It just doesn't hold them for quite long enough to really swing the battle. But still, as you can see, it's working currently. Yeah, it might be the case that we just want to use a whole, like, one of our units up there just to properly make a distraction. So we are gonna back up that lone knight with a unit of these dudes. And next time we probably wouldn't even use the single knight. It was just an experiment, you know? You don't know how it'll play out until you're there. Yeah, we'll play this out till it gets slow. But I certainly think we've got a winning strategy. And it's a lot cheaper to keep ahead of the level curve for a bit. So I'm sure we will reach a point where we have problems again. I don't know where that point will be. Obviously, from what our experience has been so far, though, it'll be at the point where they've surpassed us in power by a significant margin. So, we'll be fine up until that stage. Another thing that might be worth noting is, like, one more real prestige will probably let us finish off most of this tree. So, if we get to a value where we think it'll be useful to reset, we could just do it. Like, I don't think the stats for other classes currently matter at all, so just whatever maxes out Archer would be quite sufficient. So if we get to like 600 prestige points, that would be a point to reset no matter where we're at. Because after we max out that tree and the army size tree, the other ones I feel like are just gravy. Like, we could play around with them, but I don't suspect they're gonna lead to a victory over what we currently have. Now this is just concentrated decimation. More archers for the archer table, of course. Sure, let's reset it all. We didn't want to use the knights anyway, so let's just max out archers. Okay. We just need to find a balance that doesn't make them change targets. That's basically our current goal. Oh yeah, we went past our required thing. But we could just let it run for a second, like, we're not in a rush. I know I said the other way, but you know, sometimes I just enjoy watching too, and I just set that up and I wanted to see it run for a little bit longer to see, like, if it was tactically working better. Next time is going to be a little crazier because we're going to actually max out the HP too, which is the other side of this equation. Like, basically we're getting one shot right now. But what if we could take 2 or 3 hits? I guess they technically are taking 2 hits, huh? What if they could take 5 hits? I mean, it says it's multiplicative, so it would be 5% to the 25th power, which is a considerable buff, just a little bit. I mean, I guess if we go a little bit further, we'll actually be able to max out most things. And heck, maybe the level 100 bonus is actually a second prestige layer. That'd be crazy. Although I have something that shows structures in the world, Zawaro though, as you may. So maybe that's hiding behind this, and maybe they're just features that had never been added. We'll find out. As you can see, like, 1/2 of the army is not enough to even approach us properly. Like, I'm not sure they actually managed to get a hit off on that side, even though they technically reached it. Yeah, it was what, like 400 points to max out one of these, so technically like 2,000 to max out 5 plus change. So what is with that increase in prestige points? Like, I think we're not gonna have a problem maxing it out. I mean, next time we should be able to easily make it to stage 100. It'll take a while for it to chew through all the levels to get there. But it is very up to like set it or forget it or move it around as much as you want. Like, it's up for any amount of OCD adventure that you wish to partake in, or just letting it fly. Like, you can play either way and it probably will let you progress pretty fine. Like, you could probably ignore this for hours and come back to it and power it through with the most unoptimized squad that you wanted to. Like, I think going oops all Lancers would be pretty funny to watch, even though I think that you would just die real fast from what I saw. I mean, I might meme build that before I reset, that is, because it would be funny to see. Like, we technically don't have a reset right now, but we will at 75 if we wanted to wait. So it doesn't like to move too much in one go. Like, it doesn't like to go off screen. That's basically what I've learned about that. Like, they haven't even technically caught up to our base power level. Like, you just start scaling harder with this upgrade, then the cost of stuff goes up, so there's a very real possibility I don't have to literally do anything else in Prestige to reach level 100. But I'll do it once just to see what it looks like. But I am gonna push to 75 so I can do the meme oops all Lancers technique just to see how goofy that looks. They're going to be slaughtered like immediately, but watching them just knock the enemies around will be funny to see once. Now I see where it says it right here, this little thing in brackets, this is the size of the unit. That is not worth the size that it is. It doesn't do 5 times the damage. Like, that's the problem, is it doesn't have 5 times the health or 5 times the damage. That's where this unit fails. That's basically what it comes down to. Like, if you're gonna make a unit that's more expensive, it has to be proportionally more useful. Or valuable in some way. That's all. Now, see, now it's starting to actually catch up with the scaling. It took a while. And then after this one, we're gonna switch to Lancers and then reset it. We're gonna do the meme build just to see how funny it looks. Yeah, it doesn't have a way to level up quickly, but we'll get there. Yeah, this is gonna be pretty goofy looking. They're gonna die, like, immediately. But they are gonna at least run through the enemy, and it's gonna be funny looking. So they literally just charged through them. You know, they did a little bit more damage than I thought they would, to be fair. But as you can see, they were absolutely outclassed, which, honestly, if you look at this, they shouldn't have done as much damage as they did, so... if you consider that. But, so they definitely do an outsized amount of damage, because they outrange enemies, you know, that's what it is. They outrange the enemies, so anything that they one-shot, they probably kill instantly before it can do damage. But they do get surrounded. Yeah, we're gonna prestige. We're gonna max out, and then we're gonna get back into it. So maxed out, you can see that they have significantly more damage. Did I not upgrade their defense? I should have. Like, is the HP bugged? The HP might actually be bugged for these characters. So I don't think the HP actually increases, to be honest. Well, maybe it does. Let's find out. Let's raise these guys' defense by 1. Yeah, their HP didn't go up, so unless it's just not visually shown as being improved, that might actually just be the case. So by default, you can see that they've got like 3 times the HP of these guys. No, these guys have 3 times the amount of this. But it's almost the same as this, so as you can see, it's just not equal the value. No, we just don't have to strategize for a while, so this is just gonna be a one-sided destruction. We haven't even leveled anything up. So it takes 8 to basically double their stuff. Let's see if I can get a general, like, because you can get like a percentage increase from this because it's so close. So it's right around a 10% increase compounding. That's a pretty crazy increase. Yeah, now our only real goal now is to see what's at stage at 100, so. And then we'll decide from there if we want to really investigate this further. Although I have enjoyed this and it is absolutely free. Now, as you can see, leveling up didn't actually increase their current HP, so they took the current HP as a bit of a cutoff there. But I think the damage goes up immediately, so they don't get the HP increase immediately, they get the damage. But it won't take especially long to get back up. What does this do? Oh yeah, we could take the HUD off. Yeah, we can kind of like reorganize this a little bit to be more of a kill box. So we're gonna do that. I don't have to strategize like the maneuvering for like dodging purposes, but I could absolutely make like a kill box. Yeah, these poor little orc soldiers are gonna get absolutely wrecked for a while. Yeah, we'll play it out. We'll see it's at stage 100. It's gonna take a little bit to get there. And by setting it up like a kill box like this, it'll minimize the amount of time each stage takes, so it shouldn't take very long to chew through, at least until it starts requiring some input on our situation. We will take a little pause to move our new recruits in. Making the circle bigger wouldn't actually help, so all I can do is make it a little deeper. Although I guess one thing I could do is actually get rid of that space. So let's do that. Let's just unspacify it. We don't need the range advantage. They ain't gonna live long enough. We'll strategize when we need to. We power scaled past them. We're already strong enough to beat stage 50, so we wouldn't technically have to do anything to win up until that point. But I, for one, would like to see this game expanded upon. I don't think I played one that's exactly like this. Get another squad involved. Yeah, other things that are interesting is that the field is actually this big, but there's no call to utilize it, so maybe they were thinking big in that you could have reasons to do that in the future. Because there certainly is nothing, I guess, stopping you from just keep adding more in. And the enemy certainly keeps adding units. There just isn't any, like, variety in, like, the units it chooses to have as composition. But I think that the base progression systems do feel like they were well designed in their implementation. They just need a little game to go behind it. But I guess that's why this is a demo. So, there is that. As a demo, I think it is decent. I also feel like maybe our units aren't properly aligned with their units, so let's take a little bit of a peek-a-doodle at this. I mean, it's not like it makes the biggest difference, but it does make a slight difference in how long it takes them to reach their opponents to fire on them. I guess we just didn't line it up the time properly. It's okay. Did I not align it again? Is it off by one? I'm gonna take a look at this. We're gonna have to place units anyway, so let's take a little peek at it. Did I like get off by like half a unit? Visually still looked a little off. Yes, exactly half a unit. And I think the reason why that happened is that the shapes of our creatures are a little different. Like, our guys are just taller than theirs, and that's why it visually tricked me for a second. Alright, fixed. So I guess the real question is, are we going to be able to reach level 100 without having to do anything fancy? We're still maintaining a 3-to-1 power, so I mean, I don't see the point in strategizing our units yet. So far, they haven't even reached our units to attack them. I mean, at this rate, even if we'd chosen melee, I still think we would be winning handily. Because of the scaling just seems to be in our favor. Although it is starting to not be a 3-for-1, it's starting to be more for a 2-for-1, so maybe we'll have to work a little once it gets to like level 80, stage 80 or so. That would be crazy if we actually had to work for this a little bit. No, we are gonna be putting another unit in here, so get ready for that. Bam. How crazy was that? The absolute death circle. Now we're back to almost a 3-for-1 lead again. Wow. It is taking a little longer to defeat these, partly because they have to walk farther. Like their units are just 3 deep, so we're basically killing them at the same speed that they walk forward, roughly. Though they might get close enough to actually hit us. Oh, did they actually get one of us? That's crazy. They're swinging. They didn't actually kill anyone, but they knocked him back a little bit. So yeah, the HP increase from their prestige I don't think is actually reflected in this, or it's non-functional. It's one of those two things. Yeah, so if the percentage is correct, it should be like a 3.5 times multiplier to their HP. But that wasn't actually reflected in like the stats, so it's either visually not represented or it's actually just not real. One of those two things is true, and it's a little hard to know which one it is. Huh. So as you can see, they've decided to spread out one more. So I guess that gives us a reason to spread out too. That doesn't really make them any more likely to win, though. Yeah, I can't tell if they've actually killed any of our soldiers when they do that, but you know, they are definitely pushing into our dudes. Doesn't really look like our dude. I think they might have killed like 1 or 2 units. But at this scale, they're probably not going to catch up to us before 100, so we're going to get to see that without having to change too much. Like, even if we're losing a couple of units in the middle, that's not going to actually do enough to require us to move things around. We're gonna get to move another one over. I think it's that side that didn't have one. Yep. So now it should be relatively equal again. So now everyone folds in, and it's like this on an overall scale. I just wanted to see how many points. Like, we're at 120,000 points, and there's no particular reason to have that amount, you know? Not unless something new pops up with this. I don't know what would pop up that is different than Prestige, but we'll find out. I think level 20 is the max, because I just noticed we're not actually getting experience here. So tactically, this is as big as our army can get. I don't know if the enemy keeps scaling past a certain point either. So that's 14 armies that we place, basically. Wonder if the enemy gets to that point too. I actually want to pause and count how many units they're placing. Just to see if they're passing our numbers. So yeah, just for reference, I'm gonna select one. So that is 4 by 3. So they're up to 12 units. So whether they're going to surpass our number of units eventually is unknown. I wasn't actually keeping track of how many more units they add per battle. If we do something like a prestige again, I'll try a little better to keep track of that. Because the right time to keep track of it's at the beginning of the game, not the end of this, because it's a little tricky to try to fully count it out. Yeah, they're not quite power scaling past us at this point, but they're getting close. Like, until they actually match our power level, I don't think we need to even consider tactics. I mean, technically we are using a tactic, and that tactic is maximum saturation of attack. That's just to get it done faster, not because it's the most effective strategy. I'm just gonna see if they've added a 13th unit. Yep, they're adding a 13th unit. So it has 11 units in the back. I guess we could count how many it adds on the next one. That's 3. I'm gonna see if that math is just all the way across the board and if that checks out. No, not quite. Alright, so it's not an even increase. I thought it might have been like 3 per level, but it's not exactly that. It's actually a bit more than 3 per level. I just pulled out a calculator and saw if that matched what I saw, you know? Like here it is matching 3 per level, so maybe it is changes a ratio at a certain point. Like here we are. Let's see if this matches for something. So... yeah, it's coming to 3.2. So maybe it is literally 3.2 units. So that would be very slightly more than 3. But yeah, if we win this, we can see what this unlocks. That's kind of what we've been waiting to check out. See, now they're actually making a little bit of inroads into our dudes, but it's not enough. I don't think I told you to do auto battle again. Thank you for playing. Ah, that's what we unlocked. We unlocked thanks. See, thank you for playing Total Incremental War. Rather than a demo, it's more like a prototype. It took us only a few weeks to make. Our goal was to see if there was any interest in this type of game, and if there is, we would work on a full release of the game with the help of the community. If you want to support us, please consider joining our Discord. Yeah, so if you liked what you saw here, do in fact try out the game, and if you like that, do consider doing what they said. Support the game. It looks like a very interesting start to an experience, and you know, I had fun with it for a few hours. That's pretty good for a demo. And yeah, thank you all for watching, and you know, I'll be looking in the future to see if they actually make something of this. Y'all take care now, and I'll catch you next time. Bye bye.